मैं इसलिए मैं जो वहाँ फोटो डाले हैं उनकी बात कर रहा हूँ। G20 का मैं भी G20 में शामिल हो गया, लेबर मिनिस्टर के हैसियत से 10 G20 मीटिंग में गया। अमेरिका गया, इटली गया,
ऐसा कभी नहीं देखा होगा आपने।
ब्राजील गया। लुला का जो उस वक्त आज आपने हैंड ओवर किया लुला को, वो पहले प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे, तो मुझे मालूम है कैसा रेस्पेक्ट देना। देश के बारे में मैं पहले ही बोला, देश के विषय में देश का जब भी कोई ये आता है, हम पहले लोग हैं उसके लिए सर के ऊपर रखते हैं।
माननीय खड़गे,
तो इसीलिए आप ये मत बोलिए, जो लिखा हुआ बोर्ड है वो बोल रहा हूँ।
Okay, viewers, so we heard that exact statement of Mallikarjun Kharge, and joining me is Rakshita, who's joining us live from Sansad Chowk. Rakshita, we have seen time and again how the entire world has lauded India's efforts and what it achieved in the G20 summit. But now we see that the Congress has mocked G20. Instead of calling G20, the Congress has called it G2.
In fact, exactly, Shivangi. In fact, if you notice how Prime Minister has been time and again being, accused of, being very self-centric when it comes to taking credit for any success, and this is what the opposition leaders have been time and again stating. But today, when he opened the Parliament, in his opening speech itself, he dedicated this victory not just to his own party, his own government. He said that it's a victory, it's a success that is for everybody, that it's every party's success. He started with that, and he spoke like a statesman. If you see, he mentioned every prime minister, irrespective of the dispensation, irrespective of which government was ruling, which party was ruling. He spoke about and thanked everybody, every parliamentarian. He also spoke about the camaraderie. He spoke about everybody who was behind, who has contributed in this 75 years of democracy of the country. But having said that, we saw just as Adil Ranjan Chaudhary started speaking, how he started talking about Nehru, and thereafter Mallikarjun Kharge took over, the Congress president, and he started speaking about the G20, saying it's just G2, which is really, shows that how the Congress party has never been able to celebrate it openly, and which really begs the question, why is it so that the Congress party finds it so hard to actually celebrate the success of G20? That is something that is really a big question looming on the Congress party. But right now, of course, we are waiting for more what's going to happen. The action, of course, continues. So right now, back to you in the studios, Shivangi.
Right, Rakshita. So what we are seeing right now, the 5-day special session has kicked off, and we saw the Prime Minister speaking about the tributes which are paid to every brick of the old Parliament building, and it was his last speech at the old building. In his over-hour-long speech in Lok Sabha, Modi remembered the journey of India's democracy and said the last day in Heritage Building should be dedicated to the 7,500 parliamentarians who served in this building since independence. And now we see that the Parliament journey and India's success was lauded by the Prime Minister. The Congress has mocked G20 and called it G2 and ridiculed the Lotus symbol of G20.
मैं इसलिए मैं जो वहाँ फोटो डाले हैं उनकी बात कर रहा हूँ। G20 का मैं भी G20 में शामिल हो गया, लेबर मिनिस्टर के हैसियत से 10 G20 मीटिंग में गया। अमेरिका गया, इटली गया,
ऐसा कभी नहीं देखा होगा आपने।
ब्राजील गया। लुला का जो उस वक्त आज आपने हैंड ओवर किया लुला को, वो पहले प्राइम मिनिस्टर थे, तो मुझे मालूम है कैसा रेस्पेक्ट देना। देश के बारे में मैं पहले ही बोला, देश के विषय में देश का जब भी कोई ये आता है, हम पहले लोग हैं उसके लिए सर के ऊपर रखते हैं।
माननीय खड़गे,
तो इसीलिए आप ये मत बोलिए, जो लिखा हुआ बोर्ड है वो बोल रहा हूँ।
All right, so we're getting that entire statement. You heard that statement where the Congress, Mallikarjun Kharge he said that G20, he called it as G2. He called G20 as G2 and also made fun of the Lotus logo of G20. Remember, the G20 had a Lotus logo, and it was all about that the entire world should come together. One world, one future was the theme of the G20 summit, and we saw how so many leaders from across the world, they lauded the G20. The top leaders representing 85% of the world's GDP descended upon the national capital. We saw that there was a declaration which was signed. A joint statement was out on various issues, especially what's happening in the Russia-Ukraine war. But this looks like the Congress has even forgotten how to pronounce G20. They called it G2. So the Congress has mocked the G20, calling it G2, and even went on to ridicule the Lotus logo of the G20. Let's go to Rakshita, who's also joining us right now. And Rakshita, we saw that the Prime Minister had spoken a short while back. We also saw how the opposition had replied back. Take us through exactly what we can expect now, now that the special session has kick-started today.
Of course, there will be fireworks, Shivangi. This is a special session, and we saw that there was ruckus already happening on this day one, and there was no, that was only a part of, how the history has really transpired in this old Parliament building. That's all the Prime Minister talked about, and of course, the highs and lows of this Parliament specifically. He began by saying that this G20 success is dedicated to all parties. It's about, we share it with all parties. But we saw how Mallikarjun Kharge, the president of the Congress party, responded to it, and I have with me Ms. Anila Singh of the BJP, who we are going to take a reaction from. Ma'am, how do you react to how Mallikarjun Kharge has talked about G20? He has said it's only G2, and he's actually ridiculed the G20 summit.
This is very unfortunate. He is heading a political party, which is the largest in numbers as an opposition, and the way he has talked about G20, he should show more decency, and he should come up with the facts, because we very well know that G20 has been celebrated in our country as a festival. Whole of the world, they watched our country, and the way each and every function went so smoothly, so beautifully, each and every guest was so impressed. So perhaps they are not feeling very good about it, because they know it very well that after G20, strength and popularity of Narendra Modi ji in the world has gone far above their, they can never ever match the popularity of Narendra Modi. Perhaps that is the frustration, and that is why he is saying that it is G2, not G20.